Hi there, and welcome to our Learn It Short series where we cover a topic in a short video of just a few minutes. My name is Chuck McCullough, and this lesson is on classes. Now, class is the central object-oriented concept. Humans naturally classify things. We can use a pen we borrow from someone without special training. We've used many similar pens in the past, and because we classify pen objects, we capture the commonality of the various pens in our brains and we know how to use them. We see thousands of automobiles and have probably driven or ridden in a lot of automobiles. Regardless of whether the vehicle is a Toyota or a Dodge, we define them as automobiles. In C#, like other object-oriented languages, class is the most common type of source code module. Objects are instances of a class, and a class is the definition of many similar objects. A class in C# can contain a variety of different types of members. First, data. What are the has a attributes? An automobile has a odometer and a fuel level. An automobile has a color and a direction and a speed. Now, we've already seen methods, and method members implement the behaviors of the objects. For instance, our car might have methods to go or stop, or maybe our car is part of a dealer system and the car implements methods to determine its value. In this video, we only look at methods and data members. Classes in C# also have properties, events, and delegates. Much more on those topics later. Let's look at an example. Assume we need to represent temperature values in our application. We need to be able to see the value in various scales like Celsius and Fahrenheit, Kelvin, or whatever. Our objects will need to store the temperature in some scale, and we can convert to all of the rest of them. First, in our class, we'll define the class as public. The public modifier on the class and the methods means that we intend for other code to be able to see and use the class and these methods. The first four members of the class are methods. These are just simple setters and getters. Notice that within the methods, we can see and modify the instance variable cells. Now, down at the bottom, we define the data member cells as private. Private means that it's only visible within the class. We call this a data member, or some people call it an instance variable, or sometimes we call it a field. It's typical to define methods as public and instance variables as private. Now, defining a class doesn't create temperature objects or temperatures. That will be done by other parts of the program. Creating the object is a two-step process. Remember that a class is a reference type. So declaring a variable as a class type is the reference, which is initially null. The object that takes up memory has to be allocated with the keyword new. Only data elements are allocated in memory since the methods can be shared by all of the instances. Of course, we can declare the variable and allocate the memory all on the same line of code. To use our temperature object, we define the temperature variable named T1. That allocates the reference, and it'll be null initially. The new keyword allocates the object, whose data is initially 0. When we set the Celsius value to 100 by calling the set method, the internal value changes to 100 as well. On the fourth line of code here, we create another temperature object, the variable T2, and it will refer to another temperature object. We use the set Fahrenheit method to set the value, which then converts to 37 Celsius, which is the internal value of the object. So we have two different objects in memory. We can interact with the object by putting the object reference on the left-hand side of the dot. That's who we're talking to. Since we have two different temperature objects, We need to have context on which one of them we're talking to. In C#, we don't have to worry about freeing the memory we allocated with new. The garbage collector will take care of that for us. Now, we implemented set and get methods in our class. This is essentially what defines a property. That is the topic of the next session. Hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new content. And for a more in-depth course with hands-on labs, visit our website at McCulloughAssociates.com. You can check out all the links in the description below.